Okay, so it is my birthday and I'm making a cake. That was a very weird intro. Hey guys, it is CrafTea Cat. Sometimes I get in these moods where I feel like every girl ever on YouTube, so I apologize if I'm very sarcastic and very... Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna be making my birthday cake. And I was not sure what kind of cake I was gonna make. Why don't I make a Confetti birthday cake for myself when I'm turning 16. I'm not even disappointed in myself. So I was going to make this super huge, extravagant, beautiful cake as I normally do for my birthday because I was gonna have a birthday party. It was gonna be my sweet 16, and I'm not even gonna lie, I am very disappointed that I'm not gonna be able to have my sweet 16. Life is crazy, but like, I know that is a very first world problem and I feel bad about complaining about it because it's so irrelevant. Where was I? Since I'm not gonna be able to have a birthday party, there's gonna be no big extravagant cake. It is what it is, you know? Oh, this is so cringy, I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's not happening. So I'm going to just be making a basic Confetti cake, which I've been wanting to make for a long time for people's birthday, but I always like to make mine like crazy, and I feel like a Confetti cake isn't crazy. I'm kind of excited to do something simple, plain, basic, but beautiful. I'm gonna be filming at my table, so let's get into it. Okay, so we are here. Let's get this started. Hello. Okay, bowl has been acquired. Also, the oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we've acquired a bowl and it's very nice, and yes, I did get a new watch.
Okay, we're gonna sift everything together, starting with flour. Okay, next is baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And then I'm going to sift this. And then set this aside. Okay, now we are going to add butter to my bowl. I'm going to now add sugar, brown sugar, and white sugar. Now I'm going to whisk this vigorously until the sugar is fully combined. Now I'm going to add an egg, yogurt, and some vanilla extract. And now I'm going to whisk this all together. Well, I whisked this, but I also realized that I forgot the milk, so let's add that. And now let's whisk this all together. Okay, this is all whisked. Now I'm going to add the dry ingredients slowly and mix all together. Okay, I got this all mixed together, and now the last step is just to add some sprinkles, so let's do that. Okay, and now I'm just gonna mix this all together and then add this batter to my 3 8-inch baking pans, and then I'm gonna bake them at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. So let me do that. And the cakes are done. Oh my goodness, this has been such a long process. They look pretty good, but they look extremely thin, so I hope they're okay. But I'm going to flip them out and then let them cool overnight. So I will see you when I do more things to these cakes.
Okay, so I am back. It's been a couple days and now I'm going to ice the cake. So I'm starting off by making the icing. I put a whip, what is that called? A beating attachment on my KitchenAid mixer, and then I put in a whole pound of butter. I think it's 2 cups. It is 2 cups. I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I was doing there. I was shoving the butter in or something. And then I closed it and let it beat so hard until the butter was super whipped. And if you're wondering why I was doing this, it was because I didn't have any white gel food coloring, and for this cake I wanted it to be pure white, like pure white. And if you know how to make buttercream, or if you have ever done it before, it's kind of like a creamish white color because of the butter. So I looked up how you could get that without get using white gel food coloring because obviously we're in quarantine. I was not going to go out to just like whatever, go and get white food. So I just beat my butter, and I was so surprised, as you can probably tell from these clips, that this actually worked, and it was so fluffy. I just can't believe how fluffy this actually got. I've never done this before, and it actually worked out super nice. So yeah, once I was done beating my butter, I scraped down my bowl to make sure everything was whipped well. Then I took a sieve and I sifted 1 cup of icing sugar at a time, because if you know, you don't want the powdered sugar to go like everywhere when you start beating. And I just beat that all together, and right at the end I made sure to whip it on super high speed so it could get like even more air and turn even whiter. I did that in intervals. I sifted it, then beat it, then sifted it, then beat it until all of the powdered sugar was put into the icing. I also did not add any vanilla extract because I didn't want the vanilla extract to tint the icing any color. Like I didn't want it to tint it brown or anything. So I just skipped that step. I also went in and scraped down the bowl every so often so that all of the icing was getting thoroughly mixed together. I think I ended up doing 6 cups of powdered sugar to 2 cups of butter. I just kind of eyeballed it because I've made this recipe so often. Then I added some cream and just beat that all together. And that is the buttercream icing all finished. Okay, now we are stacking up the layers of cake. Now, before I start, I did want to say the layers of my cake turned out so thin. So I didn't actually cut off the tops of any of these because they're already extremely thin. But I just started by layering 1 layer of my cake on top, and then I put some of the buttercream icing that we just made on top and just smoothed that out. The layers that I ended up making didn't turn out that well. Also, if you're wondering why the layers of the cake didn't turn out very well, it is because this is what my cake turned out like. You guys didn't see, but I actually made 2 batches of the cake I showed you in the first part of this video, and the first one turned out fine, but the second one, I don't even know what happened. I guess I didn't grease the pans well enough. I have never had a cake stick so hard into the pans. I thought that it was gonna be a complete fail, but I ended up just trying to smush them together. It turned out on the cake. The cake was definitely very dense, but I tried my best, and I don't think I did a bad job. As you can see from these clips, I was pretty impressed. And then, as you can see here, I just put on the last layer of the cake. I did 6 layers in total. It was a very tall cake, but it looked really cute. Then I just used my spatula and flattened out the sides, or smoothed out the sides, not flattened. And then I did the top as well. This is just a crumb coat, by the way. As you can see here, I was just making everything smooth, making sure all the crumbs stuck into the icing so that when I do the actual layer, as you can see here, none of the crumbs will go into the actual coat that you will see once this cake is finished. So that's what this part is. I just iced the cake, and I didn't get it super smooth, but I was fine because I was going to cover it in sprinkles anyway. And then the last step that I did was I just used a paper towel and scraped around it to make sure that it was all nice and clean, the platter. If you're wondering, that's what I'm talking about. Then it was time for the fun part. I took some sprinkles on my hand and I literally just splatted them on the cake. And you want to do this when the cake is still like freshly iced so that buttercream isn't slightly dry, so the sprinkles will actually stick. And I just did this all over the cake, and if you can tell, there was a ton of sprinkles at the bottom of the lip of the plate. So I ended up dumping them off onto a plate. And yes, I was very nervous about this cake falling off of this platter. I was like tipping it at like a 90-degree angle. Not quite that much, but it was very scary, but it ended up working fine. Once I had done all of the sprinkles up the side, I put some of the buttercream icing into a piping bag, and I just piped little dollops of icing all over the top of the cake. I tried to space them out perfectly. This is like a tip that I learned from somewhere, but dude, I don't know what happened, but I did not space these out correctly. They were so wonky. Some were bigger than others, but I think it ended up looking. So I just did that all around the cake, and then I took the leftover sprinkles that I had on the plate. First of all, I spilled them literally everywhere, but then I just put them all over the top of the cake, filling in that entire like ring that we did, sort of. As you can see here, I don't really know how to explain. I really liked how it turned out. I just filled in every crack. And at the end, I wasn't super happy with how the sprinkles looked on the side. I thought there was a bit too much white, so I ended up going back in and smushing some more sprinkles onto the bottom of the cake. Here you can see what it looked like when I done that. I really like that, and I'm glad that I did it. I didn't film that just because you already saw me smushing the sprinkles on, and I just repeated the exact same thing. And then the final step was using my spatula. I pushed in every sprinkle at the bottom to make sure the bottom of the cake looked really crisp and nice. And then I was done. This is how the final cake turned out. I am so extremely happy with how this cake turned out. It looks like something you would buy at a bakery. It just looks so delicious and beautiful. It tasted pretty good. I probably would not recommend using the recipe that I did. I don't think it turned out super well. I don't think it's something that I did personally because I've made so many cakes in my lifetime, but it could have been something that I did. I just didn't love how it tasted or the texture. The texture was a big problem when we ate it on my birthday. It was a super dense hard cake and the flavor was super sweet, so that's why I personally didn't love it, but I love how like it actually turned out. Like I love how the cake looked. I just am super happy with it. And this is also a pretty simple cake that I'm sure a lot of people could do. I've done a lot of like crazy cakes in my lifetime. As you know from the last cake that I made for my birthday, it was pretty crazy and I didn't expect anyone to replicate it because it took a very long time. But this one I think a lot of people could do, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because I am trying to hit 400 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't watched my 20 random questions, I posted that on my birthday. That is the last video that I posted, so maybe go check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Shoot.